Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the Raving Patients Podcast. As you know, I am your host, Dr. Len Tao, and I'm coming to you today from sunny Florida with another Floridian. She lives on the West Coast. I live on the East Coast. And today we're going to be talking about LinkedIn lead generation for those that are looking to use another way to attract more business, more clients, more customers. I've got the person for you. She's a friend of mine. We met a number of years ago at a dental meeting, and we've communicated since, and I'm excited to have her on this podcast with me. So today's guest is Batya Kamanale, and formerly known as Batya Maman, who you probably know more than her married name. She got married about a year and a half ago. So Batya, thank you for joining me today. I'm excited to spend the next 35 to 45 minutes chatting with you about LinkedIn lead generation.
Thank you for having me.
So let me read your bio to those that are watching or listening, and then I'll have you kind of expand on your bio a little bit, talk about how you got involved in this type of industry, and what you're doing currently to help businesses get more LinkedIn lead generation. So Batya is a renowned national speaker, author, social media expert, and visionary. She's the founder and CEO of Social Connect. Her wisdom and sheer brilliance is best demonstrated by her seemingly endless stream of success stories by some of the biggest names in the industry. Her accolade numbers in the hundreds, with the same most recent distinction of being named one of Naples' distinctive women of 2016 and 2017. She supports and or sits on the boards of no less than 42 local and national charities and has delivered seminars to tens of thousands of dentists and entrepreneurs nationwide. Her approach is direct, and her events are powerful, provide cutting-edge fundamentals and solutions to help control and expand your business. Social media experts for a dentist teach dentists how to create and manage a prosperous and profitable practice online. So, Batya, that was a really unique profile there. The fact that you are on those boards, and I see all your things that you win in Naples. So again, thanks for joining me. And like I said, why don't you just expand on your bio a little bit for those that are listening to you for the first time?
Okay, so my experience over social media started not with the dental industry. I actually started with entrepreneurs and started with nonprofit organization. But at some point in 2014, I was helping a company who has a management system for dentists, and I speak in a front. It was almost 200 dentists, and when I saw the problem that all of them run in the room, I said to myself, I have to take responsibility for that industry, because it seems like dentists pay a lot of money, spend a lot of money, lose a lot of money, and still they don't get the result, or if not the result, the establishment they deserve to have online. And for example, yesterday I have a dentist that he has a Facebook page since 2012, and there is no change. 2012 until now, we're 2021, it's kind of a shame for him not to be where he wanted to be, not even having a consistent URL or the correct information for him to target people, and of course not having the other social site with the same URL, same consistent. So when I saw dentists spending over $20,000, $30,000 a year on something that's so simple, I said to myself, I will take responsibility. And since that point on, I decide to only promote for dentists. Of course, I have a lot of other clients who reach out to me and ask for help. And I always tell people, my business is just like Ford, Kia, Bentley, Volvo. We build a car and everyone can drive it. It's not specifically to a person or industry. So social media is the same, but I still decide to stay on a niche for dentists. And these are the people that I would really, really like to help to, and I am helping to these days. And I found something.
So we actually,
pure.
good.
I found something very pure in the dental industry, because dentists, they really, really wanted to do well, and they're really willing to pay the price to do well. But it looks like they have no consistency, and they jump from one company to another. And every year, what they do, they're just trying. They don't do what they need to do. So this is why my heart goes there. And I said, you know what? I drop everybody. I stay with dentists. And that's what I do.
Gotcha. So we met at a seminar a number of years back, if you remember, and I was one of the first dentists to actually have a Facebook page. Um, I use social media to as to the best of my abilities for many years. Social media's obviously changed a lot. The way we use it, the way we use it to promote our business, the way we use it to promote or just use it personally has changed a lot. So for many years, you probably still do, but you were helping practices, grow their social media. You were posting unique and powerful content for them to help them increase their engagement as well. So before we talk about LinkedIn specifically, can you talk about the social channels now, where you think social media is, where you think it's heading for the future, because it obviously is changing. I mean, there's social media apps that are coming out, Clubhouse, and Facebook is I think is here to stay. Obviously, Twitter is not as powerful as it used to be. So kind of give your 2021 overview of where you think social is and where you think it will be heading.
Right. So I tell you something about Twitter. You said Twitter is not good as it used to be, but whole social media is not where it used to be. People need to understand there is a specific purpose for social media, and it's actually not the social media. The purpose of social media is to increase your visibility on Google. So if you abandon Twitter because you think Twitter is no longer good, you basically abandoned something on your Google. So for me, when I run my Twitter with the purpose to increase my visibility on Google. I don't care about the result of Twitter. Same thing applies for Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, and all the others. A Clubhouse is Clubhouse. I sign up for that account and I didn't do anything with. And I tell you, because I work with dentists, and in the truth, dentists like to sign up for all these accounts, but they can't manage them, so they lose their time. Why don't you focus on what's really works? So manage the social media in a very, very narrow way, just to keep your visibility on Google. Because on Google, when you go and pay for SEO, you pay for advertising, you pay and you stay right on the top. But when you stop paying, you drop and you have no history. With social media, you create that online history and you help yourself to be online, visible more on Google. So people need to understand that connection between the social media and Google. So even if you pay for advertising for Google, you still want to have establishment online. Why? Because that help you to pay less. So instead of paying $3,000 a month Google advertising, you pay $1,500 because you're established. People who are not established, 50% of their ads go to targeting, retargeting. By the time they target something, they lost $3,000 for maybe they're going to see one patient. But if you establish, you don't spend so much time on targeting and retargeting because everything is there. On Facebook, if you don't spend a lot of money on Facebook advertising and actually not hire me, hire a company that they're specialized on Facebook ads, you're losing your time on spending ads, because a lot of people go and create these boosts and ads and this and that. It's a waste of money and time, and doctors are disappointed because they don't see result, but they still try, or they pay 2 weeks for an ads to go, and then in 2 weeks they stop. They spend like $1,000 in 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks the Facebook is dead because there is no pay. So what I always recommend is to pay $1 a day all year long for one things on your Facebook to run, just to keep your page alive and visible to others.
So I want to clarify that. So you're saying the reason to have these social media sites and be active on them is because obviously Google picks them up and usually shows them in there when people search for you. So you're increasing your Google space, the home as I like to call it, when you're on these pages. The other thing you're saying is that you're recommending that they spend $1 per day on like a boosted Facebook post. Is that what you're referring to there?
Boost or ads or promo, whatever. They need to keep their page visible and alive, because if you don't do it, you going in circuits, you're speaking to the same people you're speaking. When you follow somebody on Facebook, you can only see 50 of the pages that you really follow. So I follow 500 pages. How much do you think I can really see what you're doing unless you creating a boost and I'm on your target market? So people need to understand what they want and what exists is never the same. And that's why there is an ongoing disappointment that I see on dentists, the misunderstanding that they have on the whole concept. They buy a Kia, right? They buy a Lamborghini and they wanted to pay for a Kia. It's the same thing I see in the dental industry every day. People want to have a same result as somebody spent $5,000 a month on Google ads and Facebook ads. Bring yourself into a level of understanding and reality. What is real? Forget about what you want, because what you want is really expensive. And if you really want it, you should be willing to pay the price. I came as a person to help you to establish and maintain your social media. I am not a person to give you more patient through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. For $750 a month, you're not going to get it. Even if you hire an employee to do your social media, here we go. You have a payroll, minimum $2,200 a month for a person that come to your office, doesn't know what he's doing. They're paycheck collectors. They don't understand social media. They don't educate themselves. They don't go to seminar. They're not affiliated with any of those social media sites. So they basically do for you something that keep you really, really, really small. So everybody will hire somebody in-house, right? Unless you pay them the $15K a year, to go and educate themselves. What's new on social media? What are the changes? How social media is going to look in 2022? In March, I'm already going to be studying what's happening next year, right? So when you hire an employee, you hire somebody who keep you in a very, very tiny and a small box. We charge $750 a month to manage your social media, and we post for you every day, and we are there every day just to keep you alive and stay consistent.
Gotcha. So if someone's listening to this and I talk to dentists all the time, as you know, and a lot of them have very few of the social media sites set up. It's usually Facebook and Instagram. There really isn't anything else, that they're involved with. What do you think, for someone listening to this, are the top 5 or 6 places they need to make sure they're listed on, and then make sure they're at least doing some type of post so they are being found easier?
I tell you something really, really funny about that. Pinterest. I personally don't like to use Pinterest, but every time you search for any pictures on Google, you're always going to see the Pinterest icon on it. So when you post something on Facebook and Instagram and it doesn't go to your Pinterest, you're missing the opportunity to show your pictures, your ad, your video, whatever it is, on Google, because Pinterest somehow show on Google every picture you're searching, every picture you're posting. So Pinterest is actually more important than Instagram and Facebook, because when you go to Google, you're never going to see your Instagram post, and everybody put their effort on Instagram. And Instagram, you basically build yourself followers, you follow the other people, and you stay in the same circle. Unless you spend a real good money and very well prepared advertising, you're not going to get anything out of your Instagram. Instagram is just a show off channel. I love Instagram, but I never found it to be making money for nobody unless they really create a $4,000 or $5,000 ads per month, and they turn it into a selling machine, a store, but not a dentist. Because I wanted to tell you something. How many of your doctor as a dentist, your knee doctor, your spine doctor, your brain doctor, whatever, how many of them do you go on social media and like their boring posts? Zero. I never wanted to like a dentist post because there is nothing to like about the dentist post, really. But I do because they are my clients. But as a patient, why do I have to go and like your root canal or dental implant post? There is nothing to like about it. You as a dentist need to understand your posts are not something that we want to like as non-dentists. There is zero interest. If you share something about charity or something else that happened in the office, or a growth, or something you do in the community, yes, I like it, but I don't care about your root canal. I really don't. So you have to keep yourself sane enough to know the truth about your business. So you have to use the social media not to get people said, oh, I don't want to post on Instagram because I don't get patient from it. But that purpose is not for you to get patient. So what I wanted to do is I want to get dentists to first understand the truth about their industry and what they want and needs to be very, very connected to reality, not to what they feel they really, really want. Unless you are a celebrity dentist like Dr. Rifkin and Dr. Kim, who like bring every day as super celebrities. Of course, we're gonna like this. Come on, we like celebrity. But every time Kim Kardashian sit on anybody's chair is something to like. But if somebody like that nobody know from your town sitting in your chair, what is to do for me? I want to understand. So you have to
Yeah, well,
to see how you would do it if you were me as not dentist. You know what I mean?
I also want to point out, and I think you'll agree that, and I think you said it, I'm just going to repeat it in a different way, that you don't post on social media necessary to get new patients. You post on social media to inform, to let people know about the ongoings in the office. Look, I don't put anything about the procedures I do. That's not what it's about. Like you said, nobody cares what we do with a root canal. If you want to put you're celebrating something in the office. You want to, congratulate something. You want to show a charity you're doing. Those are things that people will like. They don't care about your root canal, like you said. If you want to get new patients on social media, you really have to spend the money to do it. And do paid advertising to get them interested in the services that they're looking for. That's really how you make social media. So when people say, "Well, I want to start a Facebook page," how many new patients can I expect from it? I go 0 because that's not what it's going to happen. If you want to set up a Facebook page, you can then pay someone to do some funnels or advertising on social media. That's an entirely different situation. So there's two different ways to handle it. Are you just posting in hopes of getting new patients? Is not going to happen. If you decide, hey, I want to use social for new patient generation, you have to pay for that. That's how that comes. There's no other choice.
Yes, you're right. And also to add to that point, which is very important, dentists always complain, I don't have engagement. I don't have engagement. But every 6 months they wake up and they say something like that. They don't go create video, create contact, take pictures. A 90 years old patient came in and he's a patient of 30 years and they want to celebrate him. I mean, they don't engage and they ask for engagement. Now, how do you engage without engaging yourself? You pay somebody to do engagement somewhere on the cloud without you get involved. So involvement is very important. People think they pay you the $750 a month and you do the job and they have no responsibility. But I'm the one who bring a little power to your business, but you are the one who run the business. So whatever you do, whatever amount of engagement you're putting in is your responsibility. It's not mine. If I hear from you every 6 months that, oh, I don't see anything from social media, when is the last time you look into that account? What do you know? Go in your inbox and read messages. They don't do this kind of thing. And then they go and sign up for Clubhouse and sign up for TikTok and all these different things. And, and they go and do this funny TikTok story. It's funny. Okay, I accept it. But in the end of the day, it does not generate business. If I go to a dentist, I don't want to see a clown dentist on TikTok. You know what I want? I have my dentist is in New York. I live in Naples, Florida, right? So I go after a good dentist. I don't go after a TikTok dentist, okay, or an Instagram dentist. That's not what I choose to go for. When you do any kind of when I do cleaning, yes, I go here in Naples. But when I do cosmetic procedure or I did an implant, I had to fly to New York and spend for a flight, hotel, and whatever I needed to spend days to stay there because it's important for me to go to a top dentist. So I tell you one thing, you are the review doctor, Len, and we worked together for so many years. And I tell you one thing that we didn't mention in the very beginning of this conversation. Having 600 reviews on your Google, will bring you more business than any 1,000, 3,000 TikTok posts that you're going to do on the internet. So I push my clients to get reviews, and I don't care. Also, people complain about the review system. Dentists complain about the review system, and I said, hey, what are you missing about the review? Oh, Bird Eye don't work. This company don't work. And I said, no, 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 no. There are a system, but where is your engagement? How many times a week you ask your patient to give you a review? You blaming Bird Eye or other company for don't give you a review. They're just create the software for you. You still need to do the job. Dentists don't take responsibility. And what you provide for them, this whole Bird Eye system, it's unbelievable, because I have a client with 625 reviews, and I have clients with 3 reviews, and they're dentists for almost 30 years. Come on. So for me, I choose dentists by review and by success story, not by how ridiculous their TikTok video is or how they participate on Clubhouse. This is,
No,
when I work for dentists, I want you to understand one thing. I'm a real person, and I go by what's real, not what I want, because what I want and what real is never the same. I also want a Lamborghini tomorrow, but can I afford it? No. So I go with something and I know that I can afford and I can be comfortable with and still represent me, So reviews, if you have on your Google 600 reviews, you know how much money you need to spend on advertising? Below 500 on Google. Below 500.
very little.
But if you have
I mean,
reviews or 5 reviews, you need to spend about $5,000 a month to get yourself going, because reviews is everything. Is everything.
Hey, you're speaking my language. I've been teaching that for years and years and years.
But
So I appreciate you doing that.
So 2 things people need to understand. You and I are amazing connection, and we know it since day one we met. Establishment on social media and review. If you establish your review, you go to how many of my clients in the very past give you a link for their reviews, and they give you their own link, their own Google page, their own Facebook page, because they have multiple accounts. And I was many times sending message to Bird Eye, hey, can you use this link versus this? Because they don't even know shit about their accounts. This is the truth. So what I want to do is I want to establish these doctors and help them to, first of all, be real and be established, be consistent. And from this point, you can help them with the reviews, right?
Good.
So what I was saying, that having a lot of reviews will get you the reputation you want. Okay, getting a lot of reviews will save you thousands of dollars of advertising. What you need to do is to be consistent on social media, be there every single day, and make sure that you get everyday reviews, just like a military order. Get reviews, be after the reviews. Bird Eye or any other company that dentists hire to get reviews will not do the job. If you guys provide them the shortcut system how to get reviews, and their responsibility is to ask for reviews. My mentor said once, I love it when he says, if you don't ask for money, you'll never receive money, right? If you don't send invoice, you're never going to get payment. So if you don't ask for reviews, you don't get reviews. So your responsibility is to be responsible, to ask for the thing that you wish to have in your business. Dentists need to increase the level of responsibility and stop buying things constantly with the hope that somebody is going to take the responsibility for them. You and I were just a system, like a matchmaker between our dentist clients to their patients. We just make them more visible. We give them more light. But that's it, really. This is the truth. I am not going to sell people something that is not. What I give my clients is real. I always tell people, let me build you. If you want somebody else to manage you, let them manage you. I don't care. I don't get offended. But let me build you, because after I build you, everyone can manage you. Everyone. But if you let somebody else manage you without somebody building you, it's just like having a bucket with water with a hole. You refill, and you lose. You have to be more responsible.
So, real quick before we move on to a different topic, if you had to name the most important sites you need to be on, whether you're a startup practice or whether you're an established practice, which of those sites are most important to dentists? We've got Facebook, we've got Instagram. Keep on going.
Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And of course, Google. All the rest you can have, it's great, no problem. But put your focus on these 6 and pick 2 of them where you getting engaged a lot. And I tell you, where are those? When you post on Instagram, make sure that it goes to Pinterest directly. And the second thing is LinkedIn. I tell you, LinkedIn is amazing, and that's going to be our next topic. But LinkedIn is so connected to Google, and they're so in control that if you manage the 6 accounts and focus on 2, you will get what you want to get.
Well, I think that's great. So let's switch to the topic that we said we were going to talk about in the very beginning. Let's talk about LinkedIn, what LinkedIn is for those that don't know, and then how to really do what you're doing, which is helping them connect with more people on LinkedIn and establish relationships, because network's all about networking. So why don't you take it from the top when it comes to LinkedIn?
So I tell you, for many, many years, I was putting so much effort on social media. And I did get clients. I did get most of my clients through my speaking event, not through social media. But there was one point that I missed 3 years ago that I realized that, I start writing down where my income come from. I found out, I was speaking to my mentor, and my mentor said, what is your main source of income? Where the income come from? So I was sitting, I was checking on all the income, and I started putting a list of all my customers, and I saw that my big chunk of income, 3/4 of my income, come from LinkedIn. I didn't even recognize that because, dentists text me there, send a message there, I close them, and I never count. So, of course, they see me in dental event, they go to my LinkedIn, they check on me for a couple months and whatever. And then I said, you know what? I am done with social media. Social media is going to be there for me forever. I never even really established a social media for my company, just for my personal, and I'm going to keep it personal, and I'm going to put all my focus on LinkedIn. And I tell you, since I put all my effort on LinkedIn, my life has changed. My income actually tripled itself and the very first quarter of me starting. So what I did is I connected with as many possible dentists. Every day I connected with about 50 dentists. And of course, later on, I was connecting with more. And what I did, I asked them to not even become my clients. I just want purely to connect with them because I want them to get to know me, because I share very, very good information about myself, my activity, my environment in the dental industry and everything. And over time, I found it to be so trustworthy in that area, and I built such a great relationship. And every day I had a lead, and maybe 3 or 4 times a week I was able to close dentists on LinkedIn. So I decided to invest on developing this software with a company from Atlanta, and we developed the LinkedIn lead generation. And what I'm thinking about it, like for me, my target audience are dentists. So right now I have 20,200 dentists on my LinkedIn, and 19,000 of them are dentists. So for me, when I feel like, oh, this month was a very slow month, I know exactly where to go and where to fish. Like we are the Jewish people, every Friday we need to put a pole and get the good fish for cooking, right? So for me, this is my LinkedIn, right? So, but I build my LinkedIn to work for me. So I have 19,000 dentists, and you can maximum have 30,000 connection on LinkedIn. So my goal is, by the end of me reaching the goal of my LinkedIn, is to have about 28,000 dentists. Okay. So for dentists, what I think it will be the best to do is connect with local, because when in LinkedIn, when you connect with 30,000 people, you build yourself a real list of 30,000 people who are local people. And we work with some dentists right now, and we do it, and it works amazing. Even if they don't become your patient, you have a real database of 30,000 people with phone number and email, and you actually see real people. When you send a postcard to your local community, you don't know who received this postcard and what they did with that unless they show up in your practice. Right? But on LinkedIn, you know
Correct.
every person that accept your connection. So I send 2,000 messages and I have 800 people or 600 people a month accept me. My statistic is pretty high. Even if they don't become my clients, they become a potential leads for me. And it become a very cheap way of advertising in the future, because in the future I don't have to target these people. All I need to do is just send them something. I don't have to pay for postage. I don't have to pay for ads. I don't have to do nothing because they're already connecting with me. So why do I have to target and retarget and retarget? So you build a CRM that no other social media in the planet will ever give to you, not even Google. Because on LinkedIn, when you go and you buy this program called LinkedIn Sales Navigator connected to my software, you request to connect with only dentist, general dentist, oral surgeon, orthodontist, pediatric dentist, whatever, and you connect just with this, so you don't go and like on Facebook, how can you go and find only orthodontists? It's impossible. On Instagram, same thing. Is a real way to connect with real people in real time. And not just that, you build yourself connection with 30,000 people who are real, live in your zip code. Because I have a client from Texas, for example, and what we did is we connected with realtor, insurance company, bank, everybody 15 miles around his zip code, 15 miles radius. So the guy is connecting with local people, real local people, because when you advertise it and you pay for the post office, however, to do your postcard, what do? You tell them, hey, target this area, and they do the same thing. So on LinkedIn, if I invited somebody who is not active on LinkedIn, he's not going to accept me anyway. But those who accept me are my real connection, and they're active on LinkedIn because they recently accept me, right? And then I get their phone number, their email. I can send them a message at any given point for free.
So let's go to the basics with LinkedIn. Somebody signs up for LinkedIn and they start a LinkedIn page. They should do it under their personally, not under their business. Is that
Yes.
okay? So they signed up. They
Business
sign
account
up.
on LinkedIn as well to have, like, I call it the social proof. You have to have the social proof, right? But you have to say, I am a dentist, I run the show, this is my business, but I am reaching to you personally, because when the business reach out to anybody, it's no longer personal. It's business.
Of course, yes. But so someone starts a LinkedIn page. They set up a profile. And what's the best way for them to start reaching out? Do they just look for local people and connect with them, and then connect with those, and that's how your connections, as they call it, grows? Go over the kind of the recommendations you have for someone who's just starting out with LinkedIn and wants to grow their page.
Right. So very first thing you need to do on LinkedIn is to establish your URL on LinkedIn, your personal public profile URL. You have to do it. Your contact information. You have to decide if you're private or you're not, because if you're private, you put a lot of restrictions about yourself. Get out of social media. Private people, they don't do well on social media. Now, if you use your social media in a proper way, included LinkedIn, you put your contact information, your email, your business address, your website, your cell phone, and your business number. So if people want to call to the office, they don't have to do so much search. If they wanted to text you, allow them to text you, right? So your contact info is very important to put it there and keep it public. You're probably going to get spam with a lot of emails, but it's a risk that you're taking. You want to be small or you want to like expand, right? So those are the things. And then there is a lot of contact that you have to build into your LinkedIn, and that's where we come to the pictures. We build your LinkedIn inside. We build an organic SEO inside your LinkedIn. When people Google you, your LinkedIn will come up first before anything else. Your LinkedIn will come first before anything else. That's the way I build my customers' LinkedIn. And then you use that profile to highlight yourself, your business, your services, your PR, even your anniversary with your wife, your bar mitzvah of your son. People like to be connected to you, to get to know you, like couple days ago, I have my 18 years anniversary in America. I shared that, and I wanted to tell you, I get over 6,000 respond. I mean, the love that they have for people on LinkedIn is unbelievable, because people love the fact that I'm a selling machine, but I'm also very human, and I share also personal things, not too personal, but personal enough. For example, when I got married, I post a picture. I got married, I put a picture of myself and my husband with our wedding feat, when we had the baby born, like very milestone, good, big event. And I let people on LinkedIn to get to know me, because on Facebook you share all kind of things, and people have an idea about you, but not the most important things about you. So LinkedIn is the way where you can really highlight everything. Also, I tell you, LinkedIn has an amazing way to blog. When you blog on your website, only people who visit your website can see it. If they visit your website, click on blog, search for the blog, blah, blah, blah. I never do it. I never going to do it. On LinkedIn, when you blog and you connect it to 20,000 people, you need to understand, you don't have to tell them go to the blog and read. If they want or not, they're going to see it, because it becomes blog on your LinkedIn, and they're going to see it as a post. So you have an article options on LinkedIn, and it's good to fill those articles at least once a month. Everything that you blog on your website, if you don't blog on LinkedIn, you're losing time, because if you blog on LinkedIn and you connect it to 20,000 people might see it. On your website, every blog, you probably have 5 views in 10 years, unless you're super popular and you find somebody who want to read. And also make it very short. So LinkedIn give you everything you need in one place. Google a view. It gives you a way to blog and get more readers, database, phone number, real people, and you connect with local people. I go to Publix and people said, oh, thank you for a connection on LinkedIn. Before I start working with dentists, I only work with local. And even my pharmacist one time, he gave me something, and I'm like, how do you know who I am? He's like, oh, I see you all over. So it's very important that we connected with the people we want to work with. If you want to connect with everybody else that you don't want to work with, that's what you use Facebook and use something else. But on LinkedIn is the only way where you can be specific for a very, very cheap price. Okay, if you pay for Google advertising to connect only with dentists, you would pay a couple thousands of dollars.
Yeah, of course. No, LinkedIn definitely is a site that, I mean, I think the stat was that there's so many, the size of LinkedIn and the people joining LinkedIn is fascinating when you think about all the people that are on LinkedIn. So it's a great way to connect with potential clients, potential patients, potential customers with whatever business you're in. So tell, I want to make sure people understand what you do. So I want to make it very clear. So you have a piece of software that is able to make connections with people in the industry that you're looking to target. Okay, is that correct? So
actually better than the way you use it, because LinkedIn also have a lot of restrictions. So when you reach out to a specific audience and a personal level without having a software, LinkedIn restrict you, or it becomes very expensive because you have to buy an email. You can connect it with people who are not connected to you. You can message to people you're not connected to. First connection, second connection. So our software is bypassing all those restrictions. So we able to send up to 2,000 messages a month to your target audience, and normally between 200 to 800 people per month accept that connection. And that's the best way.
Gotcha.
LinkedIn. So we send the first message to connect. Hey, my name is such and such. I would like to connect with you. And when they accept you, we waited 24 hours and automatically they receive a message and a pitch for your business, whatever you want to approach them, or just said, hey, I want to simply connect, visit my website. If in the future I can help you, here's the link, here's the video, here's whatever the call to action is. And you can also do a follow-up 3 months or 4 months after. You can do unlimited messages, and you can put everything in advance and don't even put any hands into it. The only thing you need to do is reply to those messages if somebody asks for anything. If somebody didn't ask for anything, you build your list. If somebody said, I need more information, you give them more information. So
you basically have got two methods to, and that was my next question. You kind of stole my thunder there, but there's two ways to interact. If you send them a message and they respond, you obviously have a conversation with them. If they don't respond, you just add them to whatever email list you have, and you're able to target them at a later date.
A later date, yes. Sometimes 3 months after, 6 months after, we send them a follow-up message. Hey, we're being connected for a while. I wanted to see how you're doing. If there is anything I can do, and we can send them a reminder, and that is free. Can you believe that?
And what do you think is a good target number? I know you had talked about 30,000, but for someone who's just starting out, and a lot of people who are probably listening to this, are not really focused on LinkedIn. They're focused on some of the other social channels. So, what do you think is a nice number to strive for? Whether it's on a monthly basis or a daily basis, how should they determine how well they're growing their LinkedIn connections?
I said for a person who is very busy, start with connecting with 5 people a day to get started. And once you see the result, you become more hungry and you want to do it more. But and the very, very few years when I just started with LinkedIn, I had the goal to every day go and connect to 5 to 10 people before I convert it into a business, just on a personal level. So that is very important that you start connecting with people. Also, another point is once you get 3,000, 2,000, 5,000 connection, whatever, you can export that list and end that into your newsletter. And that into any CRM type of software that you're using, and you can implement this connection into your newsletter, your mailing service, whatever you're doing, your blogging, everything. I mean, this is not a lost connection. You can do so many type of use for your LinkedIn connections. And in the future, if you want to send them any message, it doesn't cost you anything. It's already there. On Facebook, if you target somebody in the future, you wanted to target the person again and is not connecting with you, you're going to have to pay again and again and again. So the idea is, for me, is to reach that goal. After 30,000 connection, you're not going to have more connection, but you can have followers, so people can follow you. Just like Facebook, you reach out 5,000 and everybody that accepts you and you don't take it as a friend because you're not able to, it becomes a followers of yours.
So before we go into the fun part of the podcast, is there anything you wanted to, and I'll have you and I have an opportunity afterwards to give contact information for people to be able to reach out to you. But is there anything else you wanted to touch base on before we switch over to the Would You Rather section?
The only one thing I wanted to add is, a lot of people said, hey, where can I reach out to you? And most people said, hey, go visit my website, blah, blah, blah. I hate my website. I don't like my website. My website never makes me money. It's never working. I tell people, go to my LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is my real website because this is the only thing that works for me. So if somebody wants to reach out to me, if somebody wants to be reached, make your LinkedIn your real inbox. It's working because people can really see who you really are. Your resume is so live there. You're also adding recommendations and skills and all those different things that you can do to build your LinkedIn. This is the place to put all the effort and actually see a real result.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. So before we get into some of your contact information, I told you before we started I like doing these pod decks. I'm going to shuffle up the deck and we're going to go over 10 easy, simple questions. So the way I want it to work is I'll ask the question, state your answer and a very quick reason why. Okay, and it's Would You Rather. It's very basic. So here's one. Would you rather be in shape and have a great body but ugly face? So again, be in shape, have a great body or an ugly face, or have a gorgeous face but be overweight?
I would like to have a gorgeous face.
Okay. I had a feeling you were going to say that, but
cover the face you can't.
Yes. Would you rather eat a whole bag of marshmallows or a whole jar of peanut butter?
Marshmallows for sure.
Marshmallows for sure. This is inappropriate. I won't ask that one. Would you rather be forced to face a fork in the road, so one way or another, or be forced to pick between three doors?
To pick between three doors.
Okay. All right. Would you rather have your jaws wired shut for a month where you can only drink out of a straw, or wear an eye patch for a year?
The first one.
You'd rather have your wired shut for a month.
Yeah. For 1
Okay.
year, anything is too long.
1 year's a long time. I agree. Okay, I agree with that one. Would you rather have to grow, hunt, and kill your own food, or eat only Taco Bell for a year?
Taco Bell for a year. My own food. I love that. I would like to eat it, but I don't put the effort to do that.
Would you rather be able to erase people's memory or predict their future?
I would like to erase. You ask if I like to erase.
Yeah, erase their memory or predict their future. Okay. Would you rather abolish war or find a cure for every type of cancer?
I would like to find a cure for every type of cancer for sure.
That's a great answer. Would you never celebrate your birthday again or never drink alcohol again? I know the answer to that one for you. Okay. Two more. Would you rather spend the night in a dumpster or a porta potty?
What is that? The second one.
So a porta potty is like a portable toilet. You go to a concert and you have to use the toilet.
You go to a porta potty. Or do you want to be in a
Dumpsters, you
dumpster?
can find a way to cover yourself and protect yourself, I guess.
Well, they're both pretty disgusting. So I don't know.
I don't want any of.
This is. Of course, you don't want any of those, right? Exactly. And then last question: Would you never be able to use a search engine again, or never use a smartphone app again?
A smartphone app. I prefer not using that. The search engine is very important.
Yep, search engines are hugely important. So that's a tough question for people. Well, thanks for having a little fun with me there. I think that's a fun little exercise we go through. So, Batya, as we complete this, let me know, let listeners know how they can contact you, how they can get more information on your LinkedIn lead gen and your software that you have. So let the listeners know the best way to contact you.
The best way to contact me is on LinkedIn or my phone number or email. My best email is my first name, Batya, Batya, 150@gmail.com, or go to my LinkedIn. My phone number is 239-601-4340. I love text message. Contact me anytime. I tell you, I have a free consultation, 15 to 30 minutes. I love just opening your eyes. You decide what to do. I don't have a must-have to law client. I don't have contract of 6 months or 12 months. I can fix you and you can manage yourself, or I can manage it for you.
Perfect. And I use Batya's product. It works very well for me to connect with people. So definitely reach out to Batya if you are interested in learning more, not only about LinkedIn, but also social media. She's got a great product that she offers as well. So Batya, thanks so much for spending 45 minutes or so with me. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. We had some interruptions there. I'm not sure what happened. But if you're interested, reach out to Batya. Batya, again, thanks for joining me. If you like this episode, please share it. Please subscribe to the podcast. Please review us on iTunes, and check out my Raving Patients Facebook page. Please contact me if you have any questions or want to reach out to speak with me in any way, shape, or form. And as always, remember, your reputation matters. Until the next episode, once again, guys, thanks for joining me and Batya today. Have a great day.
You too, guys. Bye. Thank you.